Hello, welcome to the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel. I'm Sarah Willis. Today we will be talking about how to choose the right property manager for your rental, whether it's a short-term rental, a long-term rental, or a mid-term rental, which is pretty big here in our market, and we're excited to talk to you about it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel. I'm Suzanne Moore.
And I'm Sarah Willis. We are Central Oregon's investment and real estate experts. Once again, I'm Sarah Willis. Suzanne Moore and I are a team here in beautiful sunny Bend, Oregon, and we are licensed realtors here at Realty One Group Discovery, and we make these videos every single week here on our YouTube channel on Bend lifestyle topics, so you know what it's like to live here before you even visit, or if you're considering moving here, giving you an idea of what Bend lifestyle looks like, as well as topics, real estate topics for new and seasoned investors alike. So we hope you enjoy. We've got our contact information here up on the screen, as well as a QR code. You should use that QR code if you're searching for any homes here in the Bend area or just want to keep tabs on the Bend market. We put together a beautifully curated list of what we call Bend's best deals, or our top picks, in lots of different investor categories, like the ones we're talking about here today, and send them straight to your inbox with our candid commentary. Also, we send out a monthly newsletter to help you keep tabs on the Bend real estate market in general. So also, before this video is over, we invite you to like and subscribe. So you have a rental or you want a rental. Lots of people do here in the Bend area. They come to us asking Suzanne and Sarah, I want a property that I can visit and also spend, hopefully it helps me make some money while I'm not there. That would be considered a short-term rental, potentially a mid-term rental, or we've got people looking in the multifamily space or single-family homes that they just want to watch appreciate, and that would be in the more long-term rental category. So we're going to talk to you about all these categories today. And as all of you all maybe know, owning real estate can be a lucrative investment, but it comes with responsibilities that can be time consuming and complex. So that's what we're here to help you navigate. And a property manager can be a really valuable asset in helping you effectively manage your rental property. So this is a video about how to choose the right property manager for your type of rental and the pros and cons in general of having a property manager in these different scenarios. Short-term rentals, or otherwise known as nightly rentals or vacation rentals. Sometimes people just go out and call them Airbnbs, but that's really just the name of a website where you can advertise them. They're known as all these things, and they're probably the most popular thing that people come to us asking for. We have to set expectations straight with people from the get-go. People who are looking for vacation rentals here in the Central Oregon area are really looking for an opportunity to enhance their lifestyle so they can come have a place to visit here when they want to visit anytime, and then also help them help pay for the mortgage potentially and appreciate over time, as we already talked about. So when you are choosing a property manager for your short-term rental, this is probably the category that we would recommend having a property manager for the most out of all three categories that we're going to talk to you about here today, because these are the most complex rentals to manage, because you have people coming in and out of your house on a nightly basis. In some cases, people stay for a couple days at a time, or a week, or even 1 or 2 nights. And so the turnover on that and all the communication that's involved, it's really important to have a property manager who knows what they're doing. So when selecting a property manager for vacation rentals, you really want to look for someone who is specialized in short-term rentals in general. So they should be familiar with platforms like Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com. So they also, when they're familiar with these platforms, they are able to set up specific pricing strategies for maximizing occupancy and revenue. And they base this all on algorithms and the data that they have. And if you're a brand new rental, they can help you really get it up and going and get the reviews you need in order to be able to make the most of your rental in terms of the price that you're getting. They will also be able to tell you different ways to maximize your short-term rental property, whether that is adding a hot tub, making it pet friendly, making certain improvements, interior or exterior improvements to attract people, really just dialing in the marketability of it is where they have the most experience. Also, local knowledge. A property manager with local knowledge can offer valuable insights to your guest in terms of how they can help show your guests different tourist attractions, uh, seasonal demand for rentals in general, and local regulations that impact short-term rentals. So these people are the experts in this category, and so you want to use someone who's knowledgeable in the local market that you are looking to have a short-term rental in. And this is, again, where we can come into play and help recommend to you who we work with and who we've seen our clients have success with. So also, your property manager should have specific marketing skills for short-term rentals in general. The most important part about this is having an eye-catching listing. So stopping the scroll when you are on Vrbo or Airbnb looking for a rental. You know those properties that have had professional photos versus ones that have not. And it's really obvious when people are setting up their Airbnb or short-term rental for optimal attraction, having things like game rooms and lots of pillows and lots of plants. These things are just make a place feel like home away from home. And your short-term rental property manager will be able to help guide you in this category, as well as the right realtor. So availability is crucial also for the short-term rental market. Property managers, you want to be able to get a hold of these people on the phone at short notice. You want these people to pick up their phone. You don't have to go through a bunch of teleprompters because short-term rentals are a fast-paced rental business with a lot of potential. And so it's just really important that you have a really good open line of communication and relationship with this person in order to make them successful. Midterm rentals. Now, this is sort of a hot topic here in the Bend area. This is something that we are really encouraging our clients to consider. Midterm rentals are considered rentals no less than 30 days. So this typically falls into the time frame of someone renting your home for 1 to 6 months versus those full year leases, which is when we get into the category of long-term rentals. So midterm rentals, also what differentiates them from long-term rentals is that they are typically completely furnished. So you are marketing to someone who is here to work for a short period of time and just doesn't want to move their primary residence, or you are marketing to individuals or families who are in the process of moving to Bend and home searching themselves and just haven't quite found the right thing yet. They don't want to get into a long-term rental and be locked into a 12-month lease, unpack all of their things, and have to repack them. So these are people that move to town, put all their stuff in storage, hang out in someone else's house until they find their home that they are going to purchase. So that sort of covers what a midterm rental is here. And also, I guess the other thing to note is that midterm rentals are popular in our market because short-term rentals within the city of Bend are really difficult to permit and even find properties that are eligible. And this is where having realtors that are familiar with the short-term and midterm rental market can help guide you in terms of the direction of where these properties and what type of properties will really suit these categories and needs, and then hooking up with the right property manager for when you do get into these properties. So for midterm rentals specifically, tenant screening is one of the more important things. They involve longer stays, as we talked about. So tenant screening is vital in this respect. You want to make sure that you have someone who is staying in your house that is safe. So having background checks, reference checks, and we'll also be able to pay for your rental for that period of time as well. So tenant screenings are just really important piece of the midterm rental puzzle, and that's something that the property manager has platforms and systems for doing. Maintenance capabilities. So with midterm rentals, you want a property manager who can handle maintenance requests or issues that come up in your home promptly. If you are not living there or you are out of state or out of city, you're not going to be able to come and fix anything that is happening right away. That's an emergency. So a property manager will be really important to be able to answer the phone and deal with those any of those potential issues. Legal knowledge is the other important piece of midterm rental property management. Often these have different legal requirements than short-term rentals or long-term rentals, insurance included, and just different neighborhoods allow for or require different things with different covenant codes and restrictions or HOAs. So this is where having the expert on your team to help with this stuff is going to be beneficial to you. Once again, communication is key in all of these aspects. So if you have a midterm rental, again, it's not quite a long-term rental where someone's in there for a long time and may not need a lot of communication or a lot of turnover. But with these 1 to 3 to 6 month tenants, there is still the turnover. So having things cleaned and having the new tenancy filled and being able to advertise that. And then also just being able to have someone online to communicate with tenants for move-in and move-out procedures, which just happen more frequently than in your long-term rental category. Finally, long-term rental category, we already talked about this. This is typically the 12-month lease, and every once in a while category, you'll see less than a 12-month lease, but these are unfurnished rentals. So this is, sort of your baseline, most common rental category, typically renting to people who live in the area. Now, if you live in the area and you don't have a super busy job, this is somewhere where you might consider managing your own property. It's really a matter of collecting checks, either keeping someone in the property for a year or more. If you've got a really solid long-term tenant and someone that wants to stay, this could be really easy. And in the event that something goes wrong, or there's a repair or something that needs to be fixed, like you should know your local vendors. But in the event that you are managing this property from out of city or out of state, as we already discussed, you may consider a property manager for managing your long-term rentals. So with long-term rentals, it's important for your property manager to be experienced in lease negotiations, tenant relations, and then general property management or maintenance, as we already discussed. Property managers do typically charge a fee across the board. Short-term rentals, you're looking at anywhere between 25 and 35% of your gross revenue. Midterm rentals are not far from that, probably closer to 20 to 25%. And then long-term property managers, you're looking at taking 10% off the top, 7 to 10% off the top of your gross rents. So if you're looking to save money in any of these categories, long-term rentals are probably the easiest place to take this job on yourself. So with having a good long-term property manager, or if you have a long-term rental, probably one of your goals is to keep a good tenant in place for as long as possible. And that's just where good communication, developing good relationships, a little bit of love and generosity goes a long way in maintaining these relationships, as well as just kind and frequent communication. So you want people to feel appreciated back and forth and in these scenarios. So that is just one of the things to take note on for long-term rentals. Rent collection for long-term rentals can be done just by someone sending you a check or your property manager a check. They manage security deposits. Oftentimes all this stuff can be done digitally this day just by linking bank accounts. It's done really safely that way. And long-term rentals can get more complex when it comes to leases and eviction processes in the event that you need to evict someone. So this is the one category that I would just take into consideration, depending on what type of rental you have, higher end, or more low income type housing is also just going to dictate the type of tenant that you have in your property, and the different legal obstacles that you may come across in having someone in your property if they do not pay rent. So in general, in all three of these categories, it's just going to be really important to have references and reviews, even on these short-term rental platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo. Hosts have the opportunity to rate tenants, or, in this case, guests that stay in nightly rentals, and just being able to monitor these things through background checks if it's a mid or long-term rental, credit statements, credit reports, or again, just those reviews on these platforms will really help you decide who you want in your property and not. Fee structure. So super important, as I mentioned, to understand a property manager's fee structure. The more turnover there is, sort of the more touches there are, which, it kind of exponentially increases from long-term rental to short-term rental, how much work a property manager is going to have to do. And your income potential also increases that much as well. You are going to get charged more for the mid and short-term rental property managers. So just making sure you really understand the different fees that are involved with the property management. Sometimes there's extra fees outside of just the basic things that they do for you as well. Grass cutting, lawn maintenance isn't always included. With short-term rentals, sometimes things like linens are extra fees. So just making sure that you really understand the full spectrum, and potentially have the opportunity to work with someone who will help you sort of pick and choose the things that you do want help with and don't want help with. So the more you know in all these categories, the more successful you'll be in making your property a successful business. Finally, contract terms. This is something you always want to read over carefully and make sure that it covers all aspects of services provided, fees, and termination clauses. So there are some contracts out there that you sign that you can't get out of for a certain period of time. Oftentimes, long-term rental managers charge you a whole month's worth of rent in order to find you a tenant to fill a vacancy. So these are all things that you want to understand, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable with before bringing someone on your team. So in conclusion, a property manager can be a really important piece of the puzzle when it comes to owning a rental, especially when you don't live in the area. So evaluate things like experience and expertise in the certain category that you have carefully, and be sure that you're happy with their communication skills and the speed in which they reply, their local knowledge, and they're really just there to help you achieve your goals. That should be their job. And you just want to make sure that you find someone who is reputable, who's been in the business for a while, and has results to prove it. So if you need recommendations, you know who to call. Let us know if you're looking for a rental in the area. Not only can we help you find one, but we can help you optimize it, and we can help you find the right property manager for it. Once again, thank you for watching the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel. Hope you guys learned something about choosing the right property manager today, and please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.